Hello Minecrafters, this is Armagedon 41 on the MindCrack fan server. We have today another new episode, and with another new episode, as I had said in my previous one, I will be featuring a new room. In fact, I'm going to be featuring a brand new room. But before we get to the one that is just peeking through that little crack right here, we're going to go back to the Smurf for a couple seconds. This is the Smurf that was done in the last episode, and I was just going to show what I've decided to do for the side walls. I've converted all this smooth stone brick in here to be grass. Try to get a little bit more of that spruce wood and the smooth sandstone in here to try and emulate a little bit more of what the other rooms in this main corridor looks like. It's not my favorite looking room by far, but it's small enough and it fits the theme, so I guess it'll pretty much have to do. But other than that, the Smurf is exactly as it was shown in that last little video, but it's now pretty-ified. So with that guy there, I will jump into what the new room actually is. I'm guessing you can probably figure out already what the purpose of it, but if the signs were working, God, I hope they fix that bug sometime soon, but it would actually say a cocoa bean farm. We have far too many cocoa beans as it is, but decided to make this guy just for completeness of the base, because we're going for a farm for everything that can be farmed. So this one is a unique design designed by myself. I'm sure I'm not the only one to have made a cocoa bean farm like this, but well, haven't seen it kicking around anywhere, and I've done all the circuitry and setup and everything myself without looking at any tutorials or anything. And as I mentioned, I haven't seen or heard of anyone doing it like this, but I'm sure someone has. So basically the idea behind it is we have the static logs set up here with dispensers on the top that will dispense a thin sheet of water to knock down all the cocoa beans. I did try to do the piston shifting method that I'm sure many people have seen. Is pretty much the standard, but I was having a lot of time trying to get them actually to work, because I would shift an entire block like exactly as this is, but it would end up knocking off the first 3 rows here near the edge, but it wouldn't actually knock off any of the ones in the first run. And that doesn't matter if I had like the entire thing filled with cocoa beans or what. It was so inconsistent, and I could never get it to actually knock everything off, so I decided to nix that and just go with my own little method here with the dispensers. So the only issue with this one is every once in a while, because of the nature of both water and dispensers being kind of buggy in Minecraft, every once in a while a random set will end up with a thick sheet of water rather than just a thin sheet of water, so it'll actually like temporarily flood the very bottom. But we don't have any exposed redstone or lamps on the walls or anything like that, so I think it should be fine, but we'll see from that, see exactly what the heck is going to go on. So here is the farm, and we'll press the button to harvest. You may or may not see, well, everything worked properly that time, so you saw everything just go out with a thin sheet, knocks down all the cocoa beans, and you have to run around to replant anyways, so it doesn't have like a central pickup point or anything, but that's fine because you're going to be planting anyways. But see if we can hit it a couple more times to see if we can see one that actually fails. No, it still works good. Oh, night tids. I would type to you, but currently recording. Oh, there we go. So you see it actually does a large sheet of water just initially. As I said, there's nothing that I can come up with to fix that, because I'm pretty much running with the lowest delay to get the thinnest sheet as possible that I can find, and just due to the nature of the buggy elements of Minecraft, I think it's pretty much what we're going to have to sit here with. I'm just going to quickly gather up all these guys so they don't despawn while I'm showing you the circuitry. But you can see it gives quite a few, and that was from not even a harvest fully ripe crop, because we actually have a lot of room in here. That would be, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5, 6 by 4 by 2 by 8 units in this thing. So whatever that number actually happens to be, I don't feel like breaking out the calculator for that, but that ridiculously large number is how many cocoa beans we're harvesting each time. It can be a bit of a pain to harvest, but to be honest, with how quickly I'm racking up these guys, it's really going to be stopped being used within another probably 2 or 3 harvests, and I'll have as more cocoa beans that I'll ever be able to handle. But like I said, for the completeness of our little project here, needed to get a cocoa bean farm. So if anyone is crazy enough to want to do the effort required to do this guy, I'll give you a quick little tour of the redstone behind it. Everything for the redstone is above. So up here, we have the redstone for the button that comes up through here. And this is pretty much it. You can see there is 4 redstone lines going through the center. Another one for the button. And then we have one for each grouping on both sides of dispensers. They connect all the way through the middle. And that just connects to this timing circuit. So this timing circuit is what does the delay on both sides here. Like we have the delay for the first pulse and then for the second pulse. So we can see that the delay in here is 1 tick here, and that's what, 3 ticks? Oop, as I just busted off. That was 1, 2, 3 ticks. Let me just check it on there. Yeah, 3 ticks. So you have 1 tick and 3 ticks is what it takes to actually do the pulse shortener. So this little circuit right here is the pulse limiter. So you can choose basically any of your any pulse length you want just by varying the amount of delay between the two signals. So this one is set at 1 and 3, which I believe sets out actually as the difference between the two, so a 2-tick pulse, which is enough to be able to fire the dispensers. And then we have the same 2-tick pulse here, but we have it delayed by 4 ticks. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I always forget how many ticks are in a repeater. You'd think by the amount of times I've actually done redstone in here that I would have finally memorized that, but no, surely I didn't. But anyways, so this thing fires off a 2-tick pulse, then 4 ticks later fires off another 2-tick pulse, which is pretty much the bare minimum that I could get for these dispensers to click on and then click off with that thin sheet of water. So each side will go with the thin side here, or the first side here. We have the main power bus that runs down here. Then it is connected to the actual lines that run the dispensers here on the side via a torch to invert it. So these things, the very nice thing about being able to do it like this is we can do all these ones without needing to repeat the signal at all, which a repeater would probably end up actually lengthening the pulse again. But this can be done completely without. So it runs the full length here without a repeater, and then the torch here is actually which will reset the length of the signal and be able to repeat it down again. And from this piece, so you'll see in between each set of dispensers, so there's one and there's another row, there's a torch right in the middle, and it goes and it feeds an entire side. So one torch feeds both sides all at the same time. And then we'll see over 2 more, another torch that feeds these two. So on the first one, you get the 1 tick, 2-tick pulse that comes down, flickers this guy, which then pulses down on top of the repeaters, on top of the dispensers, and being dispensers the way they are, the power that you're putting into the top of these guys is enough to trigger both this top line and the line underneath it. So they both go off at the same time, and then 4 ticks later, you have another pulse coming out here, which does the same thing down this line, off the torch, and then down this line, which once again is connected on both sides. So that's pretty much it. It's as simple as can be. I did have to do a little bit of this zigzagging here, so like it comes up and over and then back down, because I was getting some false signals in here. So it was reading like, to be honest, I'm not sure what it exactly was, but it was reading this redstone signal and not firing it off properly. Yeah, the dispensers are buggy and there's not much you can do about it, but this thing mitigates it, and it should be about as much as you need to do a tutorial to be able to do it yourself. If you wanted to be able to make a farm any bigger for some strange reason, like I was mentioning before with the repeaters, they may end up bugging out your system if you do try to use it. So what I would suggest is, if you're going to lengthen it, is actually put this timing circuit rather than on the back or the front like I've done. Just do it smack dab in the middle, and then you can go out on a full redstone length in one direction and then also in the other. So you can get basically twice as long as what I have here. And then width-wise, you're probably hooped, because the signal has to come from this guy out this way and then from this guy out this way. So even if you could do a repeater, it probably would stop, or not probably, it would stop the signal back from the other way. So you may have to do some funky redstoning in the middle to be able to make sure that you repeat the signal both ways. But anyways, that should be enough. If anyone has any questions, feel free to throw in a comment or message to me. I will be glad to give you any hints if you actually do want to do this, but I highly doubt anyone will, because no one is crazy as I when it comes to getting completeness of their base. Alright, let's just fix this guy up. And then we will go over to the other room. Because this room was pretty simple, I figured I'll at least show a second room here. And I'll come back a little bit later to replant this. Oh, this is another thing I will mention, that to be able to make sure that the water streams stay thin, I've staggered these dispensers so they don't ever like join up and try to make a infinite source or anything strange like that. And then I've also put a baffle in between each ones, so they don't try and go out as well in more than one direction as well, like out to the sides. Because I'm only doing such a short tick pulse for the water sheet, this may not be may not be as necessary, but to be honest, I did it when I was testing, when I had like longer pulses in my original design, and it just kind of bled over to my new design. So it looks okay and it works, so I left it. Alright, so in my next room, because I been fairly busy, I figured might as well go into the next room, because I do have another 2 or 3 little rooms that I've been working on already. So my next video I'll probably show more than one. So in this guy, this is the mushroom room, and yeah, once again the signs are blank as blank can be. So anyways, trust me, that says mushroom room. So the best way to be able to actually harvest mushrooms is to actually grow large mushrooms and then break them down. You could always do the passive ones like I'll show you here in the back, but definitely by far the easiest way to be able to get a large amount of mushrooms is from these. So in the mushroom rooms, you can grow both a brown, like I have one room for the brown mushrooms and one room for the red mushrooms. You can see that they're actually physically different sizes, because they actually take different amount of room to be able to grow properly. I could technically grow the reds in with the browns, but I got the room, might as well do it. So this guy is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 by 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is a 9 by 9 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's a 9 by 9 by 8. I believe you can actually get away with a 9 by 9 by 7 to do a brown mushroom, but this is just how it kind of worked out to be. So you throw down your mushroom in the middle, bone meal it up, and you have a big mushroom. If you have any sort of efficiency anything, you can destroy these things in just a matter of seconds, but even with a fist, it comes down pretty quick. So now I'll go over show you the red one here. So this is pretty well the exact same thing, except for with the red mushrooms. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 by 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Well, 7 by 7 by 7. Will you look at that? So, and anyways, once again, I believe this one is one taller than is necessary for the minimum size, but it just basically gives you a little bit more room, and you have a better chance of getting a taller red one. But make sure when you bone meal your red guys, you stay either right close up to it, so you're underneath the cap, or far enough away so you don't end up suffocating yourself, because she will definitely do that if you're standing it right on the edge. So there's your red mushroom, and do the same thing. Just pound it down, and you will have a crap ton of mushrooms in no time. So, in the matter of completeness and the fact that I can't have room without some sort of redstone, I've gone and done these passive mushroom harvesters. Unfortunately, I have actually just harvested them not too long ago when I originally went to record this video, but I had a lovely hard drive failure that erased that video, so here I am doing it again. But at any rate, if people have been watching Etho's channel way back in the day, you would have seen a system very, very similar to this where he did his mushroom going, but he did it back in the day when you could, or basically when you'd end up having a kind of a mushroom apocalypse whenever you had a dark area with a mushroom around, and they would just multiply like crazy. These ones, unfortunately, now in like 1.3, and actually I think about 1.8 or 1.18 or whatever the heck it was way back when they changed the mushroom code, they're not nearly as efficient, but they still work pretty decently. You'll end up getting with probably about 4 or 5 mushrooms if you leave it for any time. So what we have here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 width by 3 depth room in here, with underneath each one of these stone pillars there is a seed mushroom, 1 brown and 1 red, and we repeat it on here, and here. So when you step on the pressure pad, you get a water source on both corners that push out, and it pushes all the mushrooms anywhere in here out to the front. And even though I just harvested, you can still see there's a few mushrooms here and there that pop out. So it does do decent numbers even after the nerf of the mushrooms. So these guys work fairly simple, and because it only takes half a second to harvest, and if you just harvest them every once in a while, you'll have more mushrooms than you ever need, just due to the fact that pretty much no one ever drinks mushroom stew anymore. So it works for what I need, but once again, going for completeness on this bait, so we have to have a farm for pretty well everything. And in the nature of kind of spoilers as well, I'll just show the little inside here for the next system that I'm working on. You'll probably be able to figure out it pretty quick, even if you don't watch other people's videos, because this design is done by another person. But as soon as I cross this threshold, you'll hear what the system is probably for. And yeah, there you go. Those are the guys that I'm trying to breed. So this is just a little teaser. I haven't finished the room. You can see that I haven't finished any of the decoration at all for it, and there's a lot of unfinished pieces as well. But this is a little bit of a teaser for one of the future videos, and then I will also be showing a few more of the rooms that I have in between here and there for the next video. And in the future as well, you should be able to look forward to seeing a new series that I'm putting up on my channel as well. It is going to be with myself, and as you saw coming online a couple seconds ago, but she looks like she's off again. I'm doing a Portal 2 co-op series with Pantone. So yeah, definitely look forward to that and check it on our channel to hear, well, probably what's going to end up ending a multi-year relationship when she kicks me out of the door for belittling her in a Portal teaser game. But anyways, oh, there she comes. And considering she's sitting next to me, there's a good chance you'll see a snarky comment come up on the screen. Anyways, I'll leave you with the love and the hate from Pantone, and see you in the next video.